Okay, welcome back to another week of trading. Now this week was honestly not bad. A lot of learning and growing happening recently, which is because of a few things that I've adjusted, which I think can also help you guys out a lot too. And I'll explain it all later on, but yeah guys, I'm honestly really happy with how things have been going recently. The focus has been on point and I'm beginning to tackle each day better and better. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Alright boys, it's a fresh week and I'm back feeling better than ever. So let's see how we can tackle Monday's price action. Alright, so coming into today, price did slowly push lower throughout the entire day, which should form pretty deep into the new week opening gap. And since we did get a strong continuation off of the internal low forming more bearish, I wanted to see if price holds and continues with this, or if price decides to change it up and starts taking liquidity to the buy side. But either way, I think it's important that we just gotta be patient. And coming into open, we were continuing to get displacement lower, so I was leaning pretty hard towards price selling off. Honestly, this was a pretty rookie mistake as I was quite conflicted coming into the session like I said before, so me forming this bias early on was really a lapse in judgment, and with price finding a rebalance and displacement after breaking lower, I did decide to enter the setup. And honestly, we were finding a push lower as we entered. This was quickly bought up however as price displaced aggressively higher and stopped us out of the trade. It was a pretty unfortunate trade today. Honestly, this setup was not good. There was nothing really redeeming about it. I was too zoomed into price displacing lower that I didn't account for the manipulation that occurred earlier, and because of that I took the entry way too early. The move was way too overextended as well. I should have waited if my read on narrative wasn't clear. It's just not the right decision to go rushing into a setup because there will always be more opportunities, and I need to keep reminding myself of that and look for proper setups from price reacting to the draws on liquidity. And I think other than that, to be honest, thinking about it more deeply, it was probably me wanting to be right more subconsciously rather than wanting to wait for the right move. And had I waited, then another clean setup would have presented itself and I could have taken that as price action was actually more readable. So patience really was the key issue today. But yeah guys, that's about it for Monday. Today I managed to maintain my patience, but it actually became a detriment to me. Alrighty boys, so we're back for Tuesday, and for today my focus was just maintaining the patience to wait for the right opportunities and just doing my best with reading narrative. Alright, so looking at the charts, today seemed to be a lot more readable. We did have a chop higher throughout the entire day, with there being draws on liquidity above for price to take out. I do want to see how we manipulate at these highs, since these are prominent stacked highs. Maybe we could manipulate these and distribute lower, or we could just displace lower without taking it out, as ES has already taken out these highs. I won't know for sure, so I'll just wait and see. And coming into the session, we did end up displacing lower. This actually ended up forming a wick where price displaced strongly higher, and honestly this would have been a clean move for us to take since the highs above were a really clean target. And I was trying to be more patient at this point though and wait for the reversal to target liquidity below, and while I was actually holding good patience, this decision actually ended up causing me to perform worse. Since I was so locked into the bias of shorts, when price displaced above the swing highs and actually continued with it, I didn't end up taking it. And all the confluences were provided like a bullish fair value gap in SMT, yet I still didn't act, and I just wanted to see the shorts. And I actually did come around to taking a long later on after price rebalancing continued displacing higher. That was where I decided to enter into the trade, but I psyched myself out of it at break even and ended up just closing it. And the trade did end up running in the end, and even though it sucks, if I won this trade holding this long that I was realistically not confident in, I don't think it would have helped me long term psychologically. I'd rather break even and continue learning from what I did wrong, and then actually coming back next time and take a setup that I'm actually confident in and have a clear read on, because there's no replicability in taking random trades against your system. Now today I was overthinking too much about taking a trade that was overextended and just too locked in on price doing a certain thing, and because of that I didn't see the opportunities that were actually being presented to me. This was quite possibly the best setup of the week. Coming up with yesterday, my focus is to take a clear setup that price presents to me through reacting rather than trying to predict. Okay, so price seemed to be chopped a bit and we are continuing higher overall with ES being a little ahead of NQ. Since we do have this chop, I do want to wait and see how price forms, since the high sweep is kind of telling me that we would try to find a break lower, but we're still not getting it quite yet, so I'll just be patient and wait and see. And I really didn't want to overthink the setup today. I just wanted to take whatever appeared in the moment with confidence, and when a bullish SMT ended up forming and getting displacement higher, this was telling me all that I needed for me to enter into the setup. And this trade immediately started running, like not even any hesitation, because we just pumped higher. Where our market open, we just displaced cleanly and smacked out TP for a quick ass win. Alright, a really clean trade today, and I'm really happy with how this played out, and I'm glad that I took the trade with confidence once it actually appeared. Usually I would have avoided the trade since it was a bit early, but all the confluences were aligned, and I don't want to pattern trade time as well, with always waiting till a certain time to take the trade when the setup is literally presenting itself. And yeah, the trade ran really cleanly, which is exactly what we wanted to see, and that ends off a really quick Wednesday. Today was honestly pretty cooked, but it wasn't even from the trading for real. Alright, coming into the charts on Thursday, again we were just chopping throughout the whole day, with price just continuously pushing lower, and I did see that we had a bunch of low resistance liquidity above, which could be used as a target, but I do want to wait to see the reaction to the draw on liquidity that we just whipped out, and this reaction would just be the determining factor for my decision. And honestly, I was thinking that this reaction from price was showing more bullish signs. We were slowing down and just overall not finding the displacement lower that we needed, and that all changed at market open though. At market open, we pumped higher to form the super high, and I also noted that there was a SMT backing up this too, along with the overall narrative being bearish. And when price started displacing away from the wick, I considered entering, but I did hesitate, mainly because I wanted to test out a new confluence called a rejection block. A rejection block simplified is pretty much use the wick as just like a support level, kind of like a fair value gap. But yeah, the trade actually ended up dumping perfectly to hit TP quickly, and to skip a bunch of BS, I was waiting to see the longs after this, but I never really found the pullback that I wanted, and I just called it a day. Alright guys, honestly today's performance was not bad. Granted, I was operating on 2 hours of sleep from the day prior, which is the main reason why I didn't really execute. I didn't have full confidence that my decision making was correct. But yeah, the long move was definitely the more optimal and something I could have taken, and the shorts early on were another clean opportunity. A few good chances today, but it's alright. I definitely wasn't at my best, which sucks, but I'll be back stronger for tomorrow, and we'll just rest up and get back on momentum. Alrighty boys, so last day of the week, and we are just going to run back the same thought process, focus on taking the setups with confidence, especially when it pairs, and just be fluid with my bias. Alright, so coming into the charts we did, I just pumped like 200 points before even opening. We are finding a bit of a rebalance here, so I do want to see how price develops. Overall, we do look like we're continuing with the bullish trend though, and coming into open, we did end up retesting quite nicely. There was a slight displacement higher, but the manipulation in my opinion didn't seem as clean, and the delivery didn't hold either. I do know that we were forming a bearish SMT and getting some more moves lower at this point, but because of my analysis prior during pre-market, I know that shorts really weren't something that I should be looking for if I want to play with the trend. And because of that, I did decide to just forward test it, and price Loki just didn't deliver as we just chopped. And with price just doing all that, I figured it would just be better to avoid the day as a whole and just come back next week with a fresh mindset. PA today was honestly pretty buns. We didn't get any clean movement or anything to validate the entry, so I did end up just fading it, but it's alright. It's still a clean way to end off the week, and avoiding the setup was probably the best move to take in this case. There's no real need to force a setup every single day, and we'll just come back better for next time. Alright guys, that wraps up the week for me. I'm really happy with how this week played out. I started off honestly not doing the best with rushing an entry, but as the week went on, you can really tell that I improved with my reads and execution as a whole. And the reason for me improving in this quick period is because of a few things. One is that I thought since I am on this trading journey anyways, and the days are going to pass by, I should just try hard each day and do whatever I need to for continuous improvement. And for me, that largely came in the form of paper journaling. I initially stopped a few months back because I wanted to train my mind more without relying on the pen and paper. And while this did help, paper journaling as a whole is a great tool for continuous improvement. And now that I've improved my mind and can combine these two factors for even better results, I figured I should just do that. And my focus with backtesting also became a lot more directed after this. I actually remembered what things I needed to focus on each day, and I was a lot more thorough with my backtesting rather than doing more volume, essentially just quality over quantity. And that actually helped a bunch and is the reason why my reads became better. Honestly, the biggest takeaway is the paper journaling. It helps you focus on the things that you need to improve on, and I usually write down things like the productivity for the day, and then more specific things with what I'm doing each day, like the backtesting and other good habits. And then I write down some actionable steps for things that I need to improve on. And this usually happens late because trading is late as for me. So when I wake up, I usually have the lessons still fresh in my mind, and that is why I could improve so fast. So yeah guys, take that information as you will. I think it definitely will be a game changer if you guys aren't doing it already. And that's going to wrap up the week for me. Just going to keep on working, and I'll come come back next week even better. If you guys did find this video helpful or enjoyed it, please feel free to share some love down below. It really means a lot seeing you guys interact and like leave likes and leave kind comments. All right, guys, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.